9 psychology tricks manipulators use and how to fight back. Let's get right into it. Number 1, the guilt trip. After everything I've done for you, you've probably heard that line before. It's not always shouted or dramatic. Sometimes it's subtle, wrapped in a sigh or a disappointed look. The message underneath is the same. You owe me. Here's what's really going on. The guilt trip works because it flips the emotional balance. The manipulator gives something, help, attention, time, and later turns it into emotional currency. They frame kindness as an investment and you as the debtor. Your natural instinct to be fair or grateful becomes the hook they use to pull your boundaries down. Your brain hates being seen as ungrateful, so you start to rationalize. Maybe I should say yes, just this once. But that's how guilt control starts, quietly. The way out is equally quiet but powerful. You don't need to argue or explain. Just say, I appreciate what you've done, but that doesn't change my answer. Calm, respectful, firm. Guilt only works when you believe you have to repay it. You don't. Genuine kindness never comes with a receipt. Number 2, the false urgency. Only 3 spots left. Offer ends today. Sound familiar? That's false urgency, one of the oldest manipulation tricks in the book. It hijacks your decision-making system by triggering panic. When you feel rushed, your brain moves from logic to instinct. You stop asking, is this good for me? And start thinking, what if I miss out? This tactic thrives on fear of loss, what psychologists call loss aversion. You're not really chasing gain, you're running from regret, and manipulators know that. They create fake deadlines, pressure you to act fast, and make thinking it over sound like failure. Here's the truth. If an opportunity disappears the moment you ask for time, it wasn't real. You can simply say, I'll need time to consider this. You'd be amazed how often the so-called deadline magically extends. Real opportunities respect clarity, not panic. The more comfortable you get saying, I'll think about it, the less control others have over your choices. Urgency loses its grip when you move at your own pace. Number 3, the social proof trap. Everyone agrees. You're the only one saying no. Suddenly, you're surrounded by invisible crowds, all nodding, all judging, all supposedly right. Welcome to the social proof trap. Your brain is wired to seek belonging. In prehistoric times, standing alone meant danger. Today, that instinct still fires up when people isolate you socially. The manipulator doesn't need evidence, just the suggestion that everyone else thinks differently. That's often enough to make you question your judgment. Here's the twist. True confidence isn't about being right all the time. It's about being okay standing alone when something feels off. So when someone says, everyone agrees, respond with, that's interesting, but my answer is still no. Short, steady, unshakable. You don't owe your agreement to the crowd. Your values don't need a group vote. Once you realize that everyone often means no one, this tactic loses its magic. Number 4, the compliment sandwich. You're so talented only you can do this. Sounds flattering, right? But in manipulation, flattery is often a sugarcoating for control. This is the compliment sandwich. Praise, request, more praise. You feel good, you want to please, and before you know it, you've agreed to something you didn't want to do. Here's why it works. Compliments release dopamine, a tiny chemical high that makes you more open, less defensive. The manipulator uses that moment of warmth to slip in their ask. You say yes because it feels like appreciation, not pressure. But pay attention to patterns. Do they only praise you when they need something? Do their compliments disappear once you agree? If so, it's strategy, not admiration. Your defense is simple. Accept the compliment, reject the request. Say, thank you, but I can't take that on. You keep your dignity, they lose their leverage. Real compliments make you feel free. Manipulative ones make you feel trapped. Learn to tell the difference. Number 5, the foot in the door. It always starts small. Can you help for 5 minutes? Sure, no problem. Then 5 minutes becomes an hour. Then an hour becomes your entire weekend. Congratulations, you've just experienced the foot in the door tactic. This is psychological conditioning at its finest. When you agree to a small favor, your brain creates a self-image of being helpful or cooperative. Once that identity is formed, saying no to the next, slightly bigger request feels inconsistent with who you think you are. Manipulators exploit that. They don't ask for everything at once. They build compliance step by step. The key to breaking this pattern is setting limits early. Be specific about what you can and can't do. Say, I can do X, but I can't do Y. It's not rude, it's clarity. If you're vague, they'll fill in the blanks for you. And remember, saying no once doesn't erase your kindness. Boundaries don't make you less generous. They make your generosity real, not forced. The foot in the door fails when the door has a lock, and you hold the key. Number 6, the silent treatment. They disappear. No texts, no calls, no explanations, just silence. At first you panic. Did you do something wrong? Should you apologize? That's exactly what they want. The silent treatment is emotional punishment disguised as distance. It's a manipulation tactic that weaponizes your need for connection. Humans are social beings. Our brains read silence as threat, rejection, loss. When someone you care about suddenly withdraws, your anxiety fills the space with guilt. You start chasing them, trying to fix what you didn't break. Here's the truth. Healthy people communicate, they don't vanish. The silent treatment is not about reflection, it's about control. So, how do you fight back? By refusing to play. Say, I'm here when you're ready to talk. Then stop reaching out. Let silence be their problem, not yours. The moment you stop fearing disconnection, their power collapses. Emotional maturity means being comfortable with quiet, even when someone uses it against you. Number 7, gaslighting. That never happened. You're overreacting. You always twist things. If those phrases sound familiar, you've likely been gaslit. It's one of the most dangerous forms of manipulation because it targets your perception of reality itself. Gaslighting works by slowly eroding your confidence in your memory and emotions. The manipulator denies events, rewrites facts, and makes you doubt your sanity. Over time, you start second-guessing everything, your judgment, your feelings, even your sense of truth. That confusion makes you easier to control. To fight back, you need to anchor yourself in evidence. Keep records, messages, notes, journal entries. When they say, that never happened, you can quietly remind yourself that it did. More importantly, trust your gut. You don't need to convince them, you just need to believe yourself. A simple statement like, I know what happened and I'm not debating it, reclaims your reality. Once you stop seeking their validation, their distortion loses its grip. Gaslighting thrives on self-doubt. Starve it by trusting your own mind. Number 8, the victim flip. You finally speak up. You calmly raise an issue, maybe they hurt your feelings, crossed a line, or broke a promise. But before the conversation even begins, it flips. Suddenly, they're the one who's hurt. How could you say that to me? They cry. You start apologizing, even though you were the one wronged. That's the victim flip. Psychologists have a term for this. DARVO, deny, attack, reverse victim, and offender. It's a defensive playbook used to dodge accountability. They deny what they did, attack your tone or delivery, and then recast themselves as the victim. The emotional chaos confuses you, and the real issue disappears. The antidote is focus. When the emotional smoke starts to rise, don't chase it. Say, I hear you, but we're talking about X. Keep returning to the original point. Don't get pulled into the drama. It takes strength to hold that line, but it's worth it. You can show empathy without surrendering the truth. When you stay calm and stick to the topic, their performance runs out of audience. Manipulation thrives on reaction. It dies in clarity. Number 9, the fake choice. Go to the party or stay home like a bore. Do this or I'll just do it without you. This is the fake choice, a psychological trap that makes you feel like you're choosing freely when you're actually boxed in. Either option you pick benefits them, not you. This tactic works because your brain likes closure. Faced with two options, it assumes there must be a right one. Manipulators exploit that cognitive bias by designing the game so you lose either way. You think you're deciding, but they're the ones framing the rules. The way out is simple but powerful. Reject the frame. Say, neither actually. You don't have to play by their script. You can create your own option, or walk away entirely. Real choice means freedom, not forced trade-offs. When you stop letting others define your options, you take back the steering wheel of your life. The fake choice vanishes the moment you realize you can step outside it. Recognizing and resisting manipulation. Here's the truth. Manipulation isn't about intelligence, it's about awareness. Even smart, kind people fall for these tactics because manipulators don't attack your logic. They exploit your empathy, your fear, and your desire to connect. The goal isn't to become cynical or cold, it's to become conscious. When you recognize the pattern, you stop reacting automatically. You begin to pause, breathe, and choose your response. Every time you do that, you take power back from someone who's trying to quietly steal it. So, remember, guilt loses power when you owe nothing. Urgency fades when you take your time. Isolation breaks when you trust yourself. And silence stops hurting when you learn to stand calmly inside it. That's all for today. I'll be making similar videos in the future. Subscribe to see them.